everybody, and welcome back to another video. The long-awaited Wings of Fire AU contest results are here. I looked at all the entries and considered each one and picked out my top 10 favorites to share with you all here. Those who don't know, an AU is an alternate universe, and those participating in the challenge had to share something from their own Wings of Fire AU story. So basically, flipping the canon of WoF, or character or an event, on its head. Every single entry was outstanding, and you guys have no idea how hard it was to choose the winners. But, after careful consideration, I have come to a conclusion, and it's time for the announcement. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Juggler95, 3 Moons, Slightest Wild, Bombier, and Fizz. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. We're starting off with an honorable mention here, before we get into the top 10. I absolutely love the art attached to this, and the idea seems awesome, but unfortunately the person who made the entry forgot to allow access to the Google Doc. But I still wanted to show it off in the video, so here we are. Extinction Gem is the creator of this honorable mention. The U is called Winterthorn, a story about how what if Winter and Hawthorn were the same dragon? Again, I don't have more information, but I thought this looked super neat. If you're watching this, Extinction Gem, I'd love to hear about how this story plays out. Alright everyone, it's time to get into the top 10. This submission was sent by 𝙈𝙤𝙬𝙁𝙁, and it's about a world where the roles of humans and dragons are swapped. So instead, the scavengers have dragons as pets. I especially loved and connected to this one because I've always imagined what it would be like to have a dragon or other creature like that as a pet. And in this world, they can. Here's what they sent in. So, my universe is set on Earth, where dragons are pets to the humans. They're like dogs, they're trained to do things like fetch, sit, stay, and use the bathroom outside. However, none of the dragons have wings, so they can't fly. All of them still have unique breed abilities. For example, if you have a sea wing, then you can breathe underwater if you hold on to them. Imagine holding on to your pet sea wing and just diving deep into the ocean. I genuinely love to see a story like this, and it's so creative. In 9th place, we have this entry made by Scarlet's Art. Here's the ghostly and even a bit eerie alternate world they created. In this alternate universe in Wings of Fire, where, when you die, if you are a good dragon with a good life, you will be sent back into the world as a ghost. As a ghost, dragons can't see you, but you're able to haunt their dreams. However, your soul is still there. Your soul will go into a dragon, and you will watch over that dragon and help them make decisions, as that dragon is the new you. I honestly think this is really cool. It's a great spin on a reincarnation system in a way, and it would allow for so many cool stories. I really love the idea of like a guardian spirit, and I'd like to imagine some of those secretly have helped out other dragons in WoF. Imagine what could come of that. Now I really want to create my own stories like this. Coming to 8th place, we've got this adorable and fascinating AU made by Lunarwing. Here's some of what they sent in surrounding their version of Wings of Fire. The characters turned dragon cats. Starflight looked at his companions and spread his fluffy, feathered wings wide as he smiled. He felt a purr rising in his chest, feeling a happy buzz from nose to tail tip. "Come on, guys," Sunny shouted, running ahead of the group. She was the smallest of them, but was quick on her paws. Tsunami playfully growled and bounded after Sunny. Clay flopped down under a tree. "I think I need a nap." He curled into a ball with one wing shielding him from the light, and his tail curled into his side. Glory watched from a tree branch, looking quite bored as usual. Her colorful fur and feathers stood out against the rest of the group, with only Tsunami's bright blues and glow-in-the-dark patterns nearly as bright. Starflight looked up at the sky. He preferred the night, but liked the days he spent with his friends, now that the war was over. He walked over near Clay and curled up next to him. 5 of them hadn't had a day to themselves in ages. There were always other friends around, and since Glory is the Queen of the Rainwings, she was usually busy. But today was just them. The concept here is that the dragons are large-winged cats. Their fur and feathers come in different colors based on their tribes. The hive-wings and silk-wings have fairy-like bug wings instead of feathers. The rain-wings don't change colors, but rather have very bright fur and can be any color. Tribes still have similar powers and hatch from eggs. Rain-wings have a venomous bite instead of being able to shoot venom. Fire and frostbest still work the same way. Sea-wings can still breathe underwater, and leaf-wings can still make plants grow faster and other things. This is beyond creative, and I couldn't like it more. I've never seen anything like it before, and it blew me away. I can perfectly picture this scene and these new versions of the Dragonets of Destiny in my mind. The next entry, ending up in 7th place, was made by Icy Ghosts. They created their own Jade Mountain Academy story involving some supernatural and other never-before-seen aspects in WAF. Here's some of what they've submitted about their characters in this AU. Flame has been re-enrolled in Jade Mountain Academy, but his old winglet is full of new faces he has never seen before. One in particular, a reigning dragonette named Radiant, stood out among the rest. Radiant claims she can speak to ghosts, an ability that closely resembles that of Flame's own quirk. Meanwhile, another student is very well known for being able to fly through dangerous storms for fun. Most students think this is simply a daring sport. Radiant believes there's a deeper, spiritual meaning behind the student's hobby. The story will follow the two protagonists on their ghostly, school-filled drama adventures to find out what dangerous secrets dragons, living or not living, may be hiding. This is really cool! I want to read about these characters someday and see what's really going on. This sounds like a fantastic Jade Mountain Academy tale, full of twists, turns, and all kind of surprises and epicness. Here at number 6, we have a major change to the Wings of Fire story created by Lynxfeather. This AU is about a different ending of the Flames of Hope, one in which Wasp wins. Here in this AU, Wasp has managed to get both Pyria and Pentala under her control. Who's going to stop her now? No one. Everyone got infected, and Wasp is proud to be ruling over them, but little does she know the breath of evil is using her. I absolutely love this, and I was really hoping to get to see Wasp go to, or almost go to, Pyria, spreading her reach even further. How great of a threat that would have been, changing the game and adding unstoppable stakes. Unfortunately, while we didn't get to see that, this AU helps us really get to wonder what would have happened if our heroes didn't stop Wasp when they did. Coming in 5th place, now entering our top 5, we have this ghoulish Wings of Fire alternative universe created by Lizzie the Drat and Mythic Souls. Here's the premise of how this unique world operates, and some more about the brand new tribes that inhabit it in secret. What if there was a hidden tribe, not known to many? A tribe which only comes out in the rare case of all 3 moons being blood moons, also known as the Night of the Hunters. This unknown tribe would be known as the Ghost Wings. Dragons taken from their past lives by being murdered in their past lives. They would take revenge on the ones who harmed them with blind rage, and soon eventually fix the world from their mistakes. These dragons have no knowledge of their past life. All they know is how they died. These phantoms are primarily unseeable unless they have an animus spell on them, save as an animus touch object. This tribe is unknown to have a leader or not. The only documented case of these dragons finally dying is their past self being forgotten. Ghostwings can be any color. Most have their arms, legs, horns, wings, and tails dipped with another color. Their eyes resemble pure white and have a light gray resembling their pupils. Since they're ghosts, their whole body glows. Whoa, this is mind-blowing. The amount of conflict that could be created with a premise like this is insane. I adore the creativity and eeriness here, and I would die to see some stories and art surrounding this AU. In 4th place, we have a unique what-if spin on Sunny's hybrid status. In this story, instead of her appearing mostly like a Sandwing, she actually takes on most of her father's Nightwing appearances. I'll read a section of the story that was submitted. This is made by Idiot of D Group. As Sunny came out of her egg, the Guardians were confused, and Kestrel was extremely mad. "Dune, why did you bring us a Nightwing? The prophecy calls for a Sandwing," she shouted to him. Webbs was in shock. For a moment he sat there, staring at Sunny. Kestrel, she is a Sandwing. She's just black? Look, she has a tail barb. Wow, imagine a version of Wings of Fire where Sunny was more Nightwing than Sandwing. She'd honestly be the glory of the group in a way, and feel like an extra. I would love for Tui to write a version of the story like this, and I might even do it myself someday. There's so much that could come from this, and the design would be incredible. And now, it's time for the top 3. This AU is made by someone who's preferring to stay anonymous. What they sent in is absolutely marvelous, and I couldn't help but share it. This one is based off the canon world of Wings of Fire, and it's mostly what-ifs, but they're all written by Nightwing named Dream Chaser, who is quite a renowned author. His works are beloved by almost every dragon who has seen them, and Dream Chaser is even famous enough to have personally met some of the queens. But anyone who has met him has heard him say strange things. He speaks as if his stories are real and even outright swears they are. No one believes him. It is rumored that he has powers, probably a foresight, but evidence shows that this is not the case. The mystery and implications this has left me with are just shock. I literally could picture a story like this, and it's beyond the highest levels of awesome. I really, really want to learn more from the creator about this tale. Whoever made this, I absolutely love your idea. It is the coolest thing ever. And if you do make them into what if videos, this would be an awesome way to add an overarching story into it. Our second place submission was created by Honeycomb the Hive Wing, and it's a what if on what if Peril didn't have fire scales. I was so impressed by this version of the 𝙈𝙬𝙁, and it was taken in a whole other direction compared to anything I've ever seen. In this world, Peril was a street dragonette for as long as she could remember, without knowing who her parents or siblings were. She would feed off the scraps of the richer Skywings, but she always fantasized if she would be a fighter in the arena. She would sneak into the arena commonly, and usually right next to Queen Scarlet's perch. But now it was the day she had been dreaming for, the test. Only the most fierce Skywings could fight in the arena. When she got there, they shooed her into a line with bigger, bulkier Skywings. She looked like a twig to them. That wouldn't stop her from trying, and to her own surprise, she managed to be noticed and win. She got past all the big Skywings and stopped on her. She turned to face Peril and said only a few words. "You are the new champion." A few years and a whole bunch of scars later, she was the most feared champion in the arena, killing Icewing after Sandwing after Seawing after Nightwing. But one night, Scarlet brought in a few odd dragons. There was a big Mudwing, a fierce and angry Seawing, a very colorful Rainwing, a very odd Sandwing, and a blind Nightwing. What an odd thing to see, all those tribes working together. But what she had been the most confused by is why they're making the blind dragonette fight. The next morning, Peril flew up to the Nightwing and tossed a cow to him. She forgot he couldn't see. "Hey, weird little Nightwing?" He shot up and swung his tail in every direction. "Hey!" Peril exclaimed. "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. I just tried to shoo someone away. I didn't mean..." The cow made a huge splattering noise as it hit the rock arena. His ears flickered up in curiosity. "What was that?" "Your breakfast," she said and flew away. She was so fascinated by that Nightwing. It didn't sound like he could even fight if he wasn't blind. After the two characters talk for a bit, they get to truly introducing one another. "Anyways, what's your name?" she asked the Nightwing. "Starflight." "Yours?" he asked. "Peril," she said. Starflight, she thought. What a stupid name. You can't fly when you're blind. "So, how did you get blind?" Starflight replies, "This orange guy with a crown came barging into our cave. It was so random. While I was trying to protect my friends, she shot me with her fire." In this 𝙈𝙬, Starflight is blinded way earlier and by Scarlet instead of the volcano, and Peril doesn't have fire scales. It's all super interesting, and it was a great read. And now, everyone, it's time for our first place winner. Created by General Grievous, this 𝙈𝙬 flips the world of Wings of Fire on its head. I'll read to you what was sent in so you guys can see just how perfect this universe is. This is called the Madness 𝙈𝙬, loosely based on Alice in Wonderland. Just for information, everyone's personalities in this 𝙈𝙬 are cranked up to 200%. The DoD are raised by what is the Talons of Purity. The TOP want to use the DoD to stop the Standing War of Secession, so they follow Morris's prophecy and collect the 5 eggs. Kestrel is basically just super violent and impulsive, Webbs is worried to the point where he needs to control everything, and Dune is just grumpy and stubborn and doesn't take orders from anyone. The DoD's personalities are very similar to their original, since they're raised away from all the crazy dragons. In Book 1. The story would start out in the cave. Things would largely stay the same for the first few chapters, just a bit more intense. They act at the war in the cave, where we learn about the sisters' personalities. Byrne is basically a crazy psycho who can't tell the difference between right and wrong. Blister thinks she's so smart, to the point where her ego is bigger than the continent itself. Finally, Blaze is obsessed with staying young and beautiful, to the point where it drives her insane. When Morrissey first comes, he says all disgusting comments to their faces, which makes Tsunami and Sunny attack him. Clay would probably be more concerned about Starflight and Glory. When Morrissey leaves, telling the Dragonettes to kill Glory, Kestrel would probably immediately try to kill her. All the DoDs would fight back, and Glory would probably accidentally spill some venom on Kestrel, which would make her pass out. In a panic, Clay and Tsunami would rush into the river to find an exit. When they get out, they wouldn't be distracted by the beauty of nature, too worried about saving their friends, so they don't meet Queen Scarlet. Starflight and Sunny would send fire signals through the sky hole, and Clay and Tsunami would be able to move the boulder aside. all the DoD would successfully escape. In a panic, not knowing enough about the outside world, they would settle on the following mountain chain, which would lead them to the Skywing Kingdom. In this book, they would be able to explore the kingdom a bit more and know everything. They would try to talk to Queen Scarlet for help. When they meet her, they learn she isn't as great as the scrolls make her out to be. In this version, Scarlet is full-on crazy, which is probably why Byrne found a good ally with her. Scarlet takes all the DoDs prisoner, but rather than having them up on display, they're in little cages like a zoo, where everyone can insult them and throw things at them. Eventually, Peril would come over to check her new competition. She would obviously develop a crush on Clay, since he tried to treat her with kindness. However, in this AU, Peril is super obsessive and would definitely creep him out. Peril would grab his talons through the bars, get closer to him, and Clay would cry out in pain as scars on his wrist would start to form. He would be able to kick Peril back, who would be hurt by his actions. Peril would then be a lot more vengeful and confused, when she's always used to being given her way. So Peril would probably end Horizon a lot quicker due to previous anger. Tsunami and Gil's fight would largely stay the same. Clay would have a pretty hard time against Fjord due to his burnt wrists. He'd probably end up getting some frostbite on his back. Kestrel never gets a trial since Scarlet didn't catch her. Peril would probably become one of the DoD's worst enemies too. Tsunami's battle would stay the same. Tsunami and Starflight would eventually be forced to fight each other, and Morrison Nightwings would intervene, probably wounding Tsunami. They would get Starflight and leaves Queen Scarlet enraged. She would put Tsunami against Peril as punishment for the Nightwings coming. Glory would try to spit venom on Byrne's face, but of course, Scarlet would get in the way. So it would probably have the same scar, and Byrne would tear Glory apart. So in that moment, Tsunami dies and Glory dies. He'd be filled with grief. At night, he would beg Peril to let him escape, promising something, probably romance, to her. Peril would let him out, but would keep him in her sight. They would be able to free Sunny, but Clay would have to kiss Peril right before they escape. Sunny and Peril would then run off into the forest, hoping everything would go their way. Wow, is this a whole new level of crazy or what? I haven't seen anything like it before, and this story is stunning. I couldn't help but include it here, and the minute I read it all and saw the designs, I knew it was deserving of first place. And that's all for Top 10. Like I said in the beginning, I enjoyed getting to read and learn about all the AUs sent in. Thank you so much to everyone who spent the time entering. Your ideas are wonderful. If you didn't enter, thanks for watching to the end even. I really appreciate it. Maybe even comment down below to let me know that you're hearing this and stick around. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.